This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Yay, Stanley.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright, and with that, welcome back everybody to the Stanley Parable. I'm Crazy KO, and we are back. So last time I played this, I screwed with the narrator. I did everything wrong as much as I possibly could until he forced me to make choices, and then I tried to wrangle out of them, and ended up killing myself a couple times, because why not? But this time, we are going to be a good human, and do what he tells us to do.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Sorry, I also peeked at the achievements, so I was going to pop this one. I didn't mean to interrupt him. Basically, he just said that I'm looking for people.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
We're gonna get it, maybe, unless he makes it like 20,000 million clicks.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417? I don't know where that one is, but sure, I can do that. 417. 417. Now I'm going to be looking for it. Here it is. Might as well have a bit of fun.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
437 would be this way. There is no 437. Oh, here it is.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Now he's just going to be making me run around because I want this achievement, isn't he? 415, 417, 415.
Now, back to door number 437.
Oh dear, now he's just messing with me. What a jerk. Although, to be fair, I was a bit of a jerk to him.
How about you
time.
click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
Which copy machine? This copy
All right,
machine?
back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
I like this. I like the sense of humor that this game has. I appreciate it very much.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Desk.
Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
6.
We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
The same copy machine? Okay. I like this. This is what makes games good.
Finish
when
it
they
up,
have
Stanley!
such a
5
good sense
clicks
of
on
humor.
door 430!
430.
Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing.
Thanks.
Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking? When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
This is the last time we kept going through the door on the right. This time we're going to be a good human. Go through the door on the left.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go out to his boss's office,
Tips for
hoping he
not getting
might find an
fired.
answer there.
Alright, to the boss's office. To bosses.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Go downstairs. Did I go downstairs last time? I don't know. I don't think I had the option to go downstairs last time. But I'm being good, so I will be good. I'm a good little... His office looks different this time. Whoa! His office was green last time.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled,
I like this
Stanley
office.
wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
That's cool. Okay. This is a fun place. I totally don't feel like I'm gonna die any second now. Am I supposed to go in here? Okay. Mr. Narrator has abandoned me, but sure. Reloading.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
That's good. Okay. We're in the basement. With the red...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oh, I really want to go that way. Cool. So there's now 2 alternate paths that we've seen.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Okay. Mind control facility.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their
Fired,
true nature
fired.
revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Intriguing. That's cool. This is a cool room. It reminds me a lot of Cerebro.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it?
Unthinkable.
Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Probably.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
1, 2, 4. Intriguing. 5. Is this one 3 then? Oh, okay. Facility power. Ooh. I'm gonna destroy things.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Did that work? I can't see.
Blackness
It's
and a
very
rising
dark.
chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Probably not, knowing you, Mr. Narrator.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been
They
freed
died.
from the machine's
That's it.
grasp?
They're all dead.
What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand,
Jeez.
but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he
They
lives,
might.
it will be his.
Oh, it's so cute.
And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
I can't. It's not open yet.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
Cool.
This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Oh. All right. I beat the game. The achievement says so. There we go. So that was the listen to him at every opportunity ending. This episode is still really short, so I think we're gonna
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
run.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
To the
Perhaps he
meeting
had
room.
simply missed a memo.
And then we want to go down the stairs this time. I know I was really mean to him last time. I'm going to be mean to him this time again. Oh. This is different. different.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Why was that hallway different?
Yet there was not a single
Question
person
mark.
here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Did we do this? No.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream.
Yeah, it is a loop now.
Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Ooh.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that
Hey,
he'd
I got
still
an
not
achievement,
woken
though.
up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just...
Poor Stanley's having
would
an
prove
existential crisis.
He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue
Poor
pushing the
Stanley.
buttons.
So many
Please.
psychological problems.
It's all I want.
Or Mr. Narrator.
I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want
Yeah, I
is
still
my
have to
life
pick up the groceries
exactly
from
the
last
way it's
episode.
always been. My life is normal.
Is
I
it
am
though?
normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Nope. Oh, hey, the door
Stanley
closed.
began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real.
This is a much
Please,
more
just
exciting
someone tell me
timeline.
I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice?
My brain's gonna explode.
And everything went black.
I like how the narrator works
This
around
is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this,
Some big
so
thoughts
it was
for the
only
morning.
a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Intriguing. I like that ending better. I think that's my favorite ending so far. Alright, and I'm back in my office. Now, I could end this episode here. Oops. Alright, well, I'm gonna end this episode here. There's still a few more things to play around with. We still have when we go into the office, we can take that hallway that says escape. So we do have more options to explore in this, and if you want me to continue to play this, leave a comment down below, leave a like on the video, and I'll see if I come back to this. This has been fun. It's been a nice little break from the games that I've been normally playing, so I'm enjoying this. So thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.